In this video, we will learn about musical instruments. Different types of vibration produce sound differently. Musical instruments use vibration of various types to produce sound. There are four common kinds of musical instruments. These are as follows. First, string instrument. Second, percussion instruments. Third, wind instruments. And fourth, reed instruments. Let's understand all these types of instrument one by one. First one is string instrument. A guitar, a violin, a sitar, a veena, a sarangi are examples of string instruments because they have strings in them. So here we have examples of sitar, veena and sarangi. In these images we can observe that all these instruments have strings. Strings of specific metal and thickness are made to vibrate in them so as to produce sound. The frequency of sound produced by a string instrument depends upon the length, material, thickness, and tightness of the string. We can take an example of guitar. Guitar has 6 different strings and all the strings are of different thickness and hence they produce different sound. Loudness of sound depends upon the amplitude of vibration of the string. Next type of instruments are percussion instruments. Percussion instruments like bass drum, dholak, tabla and bongo produce sound when their stretched membrane are struck with stick or hand. Here we have different percussion instruments. First is bass drum. Here we can observe the stretched membrane. In dholak also we can observe the stretched membrane. Next we have bongo and this is the stretched membrane. In tabla also we have stretched membrane. So all the percussion instruments have stretched membrane and when this stretched membrane is struck with stick or hand, it produces sound. This causes the membrane to vibrate, which in turn makes the air molecule inside the instrument vibrate, generating sound. Here we have an activity, let's understand it. The aim is to produce sound by vibrating membrane of a drum. Materials required are a drum, a hammer and ping pong balls. Let's understand the procedure. Take a drum and beat it with a soft hammer. You will hear the sound of the drum. Now gently touch the membrane of the drum. You may be able to feel its vibration. To be sure, put some light ping pong balls on the drum and strike it again with a soft hammer. What do you observe? We can observe that after striking this drum with a soft hammer, this membrane starts vibrating and it produces sound, and because of this vibrating membrane, the ping pong balls also start moving up and down. So let's understand the observation and conclusion. You will observe that a sound is produced and the ping pong balls dance up and down. Dancing balls show that the membrane of drum is vibrating and consequently producing a sound. The above activity clearly demonstrates that in a musical drum, sound is produced whenever its membrane is set in vibrating motion. Same cause is true for other percussion instruments as well. So whenever the membrane vibrates, it produces sound. The frequency of the sound produced depends on the dimension of the percussion instrument and the tension in the membrane, whereas the loudness of the sound produced can be increased by striking harder on the membrane. The next type of instruments are wind instruments. A trumpet, a shehnai, a flute, a bugle, a clarinet are example of wind instruments. These instruments are in the form of pipe. When we blow air into them from our mouth, the air column inside vibrates and produces sound. Here we can observe various wind instruments. First is trumpet, second is shehnai, then we have flute and then bugle. The frequency of the sound produced depends on the length of the pipe and the loudness of the sound can be increased by blowing air strongly, and all these instruments are able to produce sound because of the vibration in air column. Next we have reed instruments. Reed instruments have metal reeds or keys, example harmonium, piano, mouth organ. Here we can see their images. This is harmonium, this is piano, and this is mouth organ, and all these instruments are able to produce sound because of metal reeds or keys. When air is blown through this metal reeds, sound is produced, and different keys are provided to produce sounds of different frequencies. I hope this topic is clear to you. Thank you.